I found something very exciting, and this should get everybody very fired up about what comes next here. We've been talking a lot about the capital in the space and what that's doing currently. And luckily, ADA's done a very good job of gaining some of that dominance back in a higher place of relevance than it's frankly ever been. And now we're at this point where we're just waiting for that big burst of retail to enter the space, that big burst of adoption. Well, we just got some of our first signs that retail is actually paying attention, and we know what comes next from here. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So ADA today started off on actually a pretty good note. And what I mean by that is it's about 7:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're seeing ADA at about 82.60, which is up from my earlier ADA video today. And hopefully this is a trend that just continues as time goes on. Again, that retail confidence is setting in. That's exactly what we need to see. We're still obviously waiting for this more significant USDT dominance breakdown to take place. And I think that this is really where we're going to start seeing, higher optics outside the space, big retail adoption, the big stuff we've been waiting for to go on these paths to new all-time highs. That is what's going to help take us there. But it hasn't been happening quite yet until now. Because what we are in fact seeing is one, crypto search traffic on the rise. This week hasn't even ended yet, but we're actually hitting some of the highest levels we have seen since the early part of March, which if you guys remember the early part of March, crypto was all the rave. We had some pretty big things that were going on. Embrace of US based crypto here in the US, a strategic crypto reserve, right? This was all the stuff that you were seeing all over the news. So these are some pretty significant signs, but this isn't just crypto in general. ADA, again, setting some of the highest search traffic we have seen since that early part of March. So you're starting to see a little bit of a pivot from global optics, and that is a very big deal. And maybe it's just some of the mentions of crypto as of late by Donald Trump. Maybe it's because obviously there's stablecoin legislation that is trying to go through Congress. I mean, there's a bunch of different stuff that could indicate or could be the reason why this stuff is in fact taking place. But there is something else that is signifying that retail is in fact paying attention. So I've been looking at this a lot lately, and the big reason why is this is a huge indicator for the market. What we have actually seen is a crypto related app enter the top 200 on the Apple App Store for the first time since November. This is a very big deal. All right, so Robinhood has reached number 178, and the last time we had gotten to these things taking place, ADA and the market went on massive runs to the upside. So what we are now starting to see is people are at least preparing to put their capital in the crypto market. There already has been some capital flowing in, which we've discussed before. But the big thing that we need is new users, new adoption. We need to get out of this 5 to 6% of the world in crypto and start attacking 7, 8, 9, 10%, like we've discussed in this market cycle. So this is a huge sign for what comes next. And this could help be what carries us to higher prices. Again, the biggest thing I will say is I think that we're on the edge of this. We still need to see, a break up in terms of ADA, in terms of crypto in general. We still need to see a USDT dominance breakdown. We need to see a BTC dominance breakdown continue. And the great news for that, like I talked about in my SHIB video earlier today, is all that stuff is aligning. In fact, when we look at this ETH BTC chart, there is something very significant taking place here. We are now seeing 4 straight weeks of green versus BTC. This is the ETH BTC chart. So this outpacing is very important because the last time this took place was in the middle of 2023. And what followed was rallies for altcoins. We saw our bottoms, okay? Very important sign. But I think even more significant than that was what took place all the way back in 2020. When ETH started printing multiple green weeks and specifically started to breach its 20-week moving average. Why this was so important is, guys, take a look what followed. ETH versus BTC just rallied and rallied and rallied and rallied and rallied. And we know what happened for altcoins during that time as well. That's where ADA was able to go and do a 150x. Am I saying 150x is going to take place from here? Probably not. But this was essentially the kickoff. This cycle, it just took longer for whatever reason. Maybe it had to do with BTC dominance. Maybe it had to do with high Ethereum gas fees, whatever it may be. It looks like we are now, in fact, about to begin. Okay. So the biggest thing I will say is obviously just make sure you're prepared. Don't do anything crazy. As always, you can do whatever you want. This isn't financial advice, but me personally, this is why I've taken all this time to prepare for this next major leg in crypto. Adoption is coming, embrace is coming, legislation is coming. All these things can really help crypto achieve some pretty amazing potential. And ADA is already showing that it could be a huge winner in this cycle. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.